Now you all know Dr. Ekuru Aukot, yeah? Well, I'm sure now you know him very well, or rather you've heard of him. He's famous now, yeah? Despite this guy being a presidential candidate, people were ignoring him. In fact, even people didn't know how to pronounce his name, including myself. I think it's called Aukot, you know? Didn't even know his first name, yeah? And he faced a much worse situation with the press, because sometimes he would approach the press to give a statement, then you hear the press guy asking, sorry, who are you again? Oh, okay. Third way what? Third way grouping? Third way alliance. Ah, okay. Yeah. So you had a statement for the press? Yeah. And by the way, the cameras are not even rolling, eh? And the guy has not even removed his pen to take notes, eh? This is a journalist. Ah, okay. So what do you have to say? So Ekuru Aukot says this and that and that. Ah, okay, fine. I'll organize with my bosses. We'll see what we can do, you know, to cover you. He was basically ignored. But as our Luya brothers always say, vindu vichenjanga, things change. This morning, when this man stepped out of the courtroom, wow, battery of cameras, wow, flashing all over the place. Microphones being shoved into his mouth from every corner. Suddenly, Ekuru Aukot is a very important man. He's extremely important. Hey! Yeah? And of course the man rose to the occasion. Yeah? And he's obviously a very humble man. Yeah, he said, I'd like to introduce you to the man who's behind this. Then introduces his lawyer there. Yeah? This man fought, you know, it was difficult for us. You know, people saw us small. You know, this Ekuru Aukot talking, eh? Then he says, you can think somebody is small, but wait until you're in a dark room with a mosquito. This guy has humor anyway. So, why is this man so important right now? Ekuru Aukot is very important because there's some certain people within Jubilee who want to use him to commit mischief. Yeah, political mischief. Yeah, I believe it has come to the realization of Jubilee. Yeah, because you can come up with an idea, but even if you think about it, and you realize it's ridiculous. Yeah, the presidential election was annulled, and then after it is annulled, somebody steps out of the race because this race is unfair. Then you just you get some imaginations in your mind that actually you can organize for yourself to be sworn in without any election. Yeah. You can organize for yourself to be sworn in and you become president. And don't forget, yeah, the whole issue of this, the Supreme Court case, and the whole issue behind the Supreme Court ruling is that there are illegalities and irregularities. And let's just be honest. The IEBC was acting on whose orders? Yeah? Did Raila go and order the IEBC to fiddle and bungle the elections? Yeah, or maybe somebody from the moon came from somewhere, yeah, and ordered the IEBC change this rig, massive rig, you know. Hey, now let's just be honest with ourselves. Those guys, it is extremely obvious. Yeah, it's only nobody wants to say it, but I will say it. It is extremely obvious that they received their instructions from none other than the camp which wants to swear itself in. That's the truth. Yeah, Jubilee guys, sorry, but that's the truth. Yeah, so I think somebody has realized this is not possible. So plan B, have an election. Yeah, President Uhuru Kenyatta versus Ekuru Aukot. Yeah, and then get the election results in. I think that one there will be no need even to fiddle with the elections. Yeah, but you know, some of these guys don't want to take chances because we have been told. Not we have been told. I have credible information that already plans were at an advanced stage, yeah, to rig the election we are going to go into, the one which Raila has gotten himself out of. Okay, it was just going to be the same thing. Okay, in fact, Raila Odinga revealed a few hours ago that actually some fake ballot papers for this coming elections were being printed, actually being printed now. You know, they're already on course to being printed. Yeah, before he withdrew yesterday. Hey. Anyway, Bwana Ekuru Aukot is now the man in the limelight. He has promised to release a more comprehensive statement in a day or two, and then we'll know whether this man is a Maraga or is a typical Kenyan. Yeah, let's just wait and see. Okay. Now, of course, the guy has got a very interesting background. A lot of people don't know this, but he actually oversaw the writing of our current constitution. Yeah. He oversaw the writing of our current constitution. Yeah, he was amongst the committee of experts. Yeah, who wrote this constitution that we're using right now. Yeah, so I'm sure he's the sort of person who knows our constitution very well, and he knows the reason for certain clause, the spirit behind a certain clause, blah 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 blah. The discussions, yeah, that went on before certain clause was inserted. Yeah, what it was targeted at, blah 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 blah. Yeah, you get my drift. Yeah, so you know, if we were to give in simple terms, huyu ni mtu ambaye anajua nyumba yake. Yeah, anajua mahali ameficha kisu, anajua mahali ameficha ile spare rungu chini ya kitanda kwa kona kabisa ambayo huwezi ona. Yeah, so this is the guy, he knows the constitution quite well. Interesting, he's very young, he's only 46. Okay, and he has got a very impressive academic CV. Okay, he taught constitutional and administrative law at University of Warwick in the UK. Yeah, and also at, of course, our local Kenya School of Law. Yeah, he's quite a scholar. He's quite a respected practicing lawyer. Yeah. Anyway, we wait and see. Yeah, whatever mischief Jubilee tries to play, those of us who are in this channel, we know what we're waiting for. Yeah, I think we should know. I mean, the future is very clear for us. Yeah, and of course we all know the next step we're waiting for. No? You don't know the next step? Okay, we'll take a brief commercial break. When we come back, I will remind you, or rather I'll tell you if you don't know. Yeah? I'll be back in a second. Welcome back. Now, what we're waiting for is very obvious. Yeah, I'll refer you back to Ezekiel 21:27. I will overturn, I will overturn, I will overturn it, and it shall be no more until he come whose right it is, and I will give it him. Okay? Yeah, we have seen the first overturn. We are just now waiting for the second overturn. Yeah, in case you didn't know. What is going to happen if this word is true, and if I'm correct, and if the person, let me rephrase that. I'm not the one who was given this word. It's a very respected servant of God that I respect and believe they're saying true. They're saying the truth here. So if this word that they gave is true, yeah, then what we should expect now is that somebody will try again. Somebody will try again and establish themselves as the president. Yeah. Now, if this person is not the one whose right it is, yeah, that's what the verse says. Yes, I'm not hitting out on anybody. I'm not saying anything. I'm just sticking to scripture. Yeah. If this person who tries to put himself, make himself president, yeah, if it is not he whose right it is, as the scripture says, itakuwa yote bure tu. No matter how much money they spend, it will all be nothing. It won't work. Okay? And then we have to wait for another one. Oh gosh. Yeah, dig in. I think you should take in, you should definitely take in the recordings I did earlier on. Yeah, a whole 3-part predicting what's going to happen in the future, and also giving you tips on how to survive. Yeah, make sure you get on with your life. Don't wait for the political situation to settle. That one will take time. And as I said earlier, you cannot hurry God. Yeah. Anyway, that's the next step we're waiting for. Now, this is a good opportunity to review what the lawyers have been saying. As if you've been following, I'm sure you've seen a lot of arguments back and forth. Mbaka, you wonder, these lawyers, can they make up their minds? Yeah. Over this latest move that Raila made of withdrawing from the race. Okay. Now, of course, there's a group of lawyers who are very convinced that the thing has got basis in law. Okay. But I just want to tell you something very important that you should realize even as you listen to the arguments. Okay. Whatever happens, nobody can walk over the law. Yes. Even if, let's assume the NASA lawyers are very wrong, yeah, there's no legal ground for us to call for fresh elections. Let's assume that is true, yeah. Even assuming that that is true, yeah, there's no way Jubilee can just walk over all this and pretend that it does not exist. Of course, I warned you very early on, don't believe what politicians are saying, because a politician can come out and issue a very strong-worded statement. Oh, this is rubbish, we're going to swear in Uhuru Kenyatta in the afternoon, this is rubbish, it doesn't work. But as soon as he comes from giving that statement, anaenda mahali, he starts shaking in his boots. I tell you the truth, yes, in public, they'll not show you like there's any problem. Definitely not. Yeah, there's no way Jubilee guys are going to come in public and show you that they've been shaken by what Raila has done. No way. Once the types like Moses Kuria, they'll come and say, we're expecting this. We have already dealt with it. Our lawyer started working on this in fact, 2 months ago, our lawyer started working on this. Yeah, it didn't come as a shock to us. Yeah, but that's politics. That's how politicians behave. The world over, by the way. Yeah, although in Kenya, wamezidi. That is the truth. So what happens if Jubilee just ignores everything and goes ahead and swears in Uhuru Kenyatta as president? Yeah? Or what happens they go into an election with Ekuru Aukot, yeah? And in the election Uhuru is declared the winner and is sworn in. Yeah? What happens after that? I think the answer to that is very simple. Yeah? You know, as president of a country, you're supposed to have support across the country. Yeah, for you to be legitimized, yes, you have got to have support. Not only support, people have to recognize actually that you're the president. Okay. Now, let me just ask you a simple question. Even if somebody is not a NASA supporter, sorry. Even if somebody is not a NASA supporter, and then let's say even they're from the moon, they're from another country, and then they come in, they're told the circumstances, and then they say this is how the guy became president. They'll just shake their heads and say, "Ay, kweli, hey," you know, they'll just shake their heads. Yeah, it can't work. It cannot work. Of course, the president's advisors will tell him, "Don't worry, Mr. President. A man called President Daniel Arap Moi ruled for a very long time like this. Yeah, he used to go into elections, rig them. He's the minority, yeah, but he rigs the election and he goes back to power and nothing happens, yeah, and he ruled and he finished his ruling. Yeah, he came out of power by himself, yeah, he accepted, he just left power, yeah, his term ended and he didn't start trying to make his term longer, he just left power, okay, and he's now happy retirement. So don't worry, Mr. President, those people who say it is not possible are dreaming. I'm sure this is what some of his advisors are telling him. Yeah, well, I have news for them. That was a different time. When Moi was doing this, the storm was not blowing how it's blowing right now across Kenya. Yeah, when Moi was doing this, there was no strong wind like the strong wind that's blowing across Kenya. And most importantly, when Moi was doing this, we did not have divine intervention in Kenya. We do not have God himself doing his stuff. Yeah, he was not involved in the process, if you can put it like that. Yeah, and now that the Almighty is involved in the process and we have clear evidence, I mean, from the email that I've just read you should be able to, I'm assuming you caught my last recording. From that email, from somebody who takes in this channel, it should be rather obvious, yeah, how this thing is going to end. Yeah, it should be very obvious. So that will not work. So if I was you, I would take in what's happening, but nothing should shock you. Yes, if you hear somebody has been sworn in tomorrow, Relax, tuliza boli. Yeah? That means nothing. Because after all, the scripture tells us, overturn, and we're waiting for 2 more overturns. So, mambo bado. Yeah? Until next time, this is Kshs Kumekucha.